All right, so second grade, welcome back to week 8 of our Art Online Learning. And today I'm going to teach you a really cool, fun cityscape kinetic sculpture that looks really cool, and I just love making this. So let me show you what you'll need. You will need some newspaper. You will need a paper plate or a surface. It doesn't have to be a paper plate, it could be a piece of cardboard. You're gonna need some string, and I happen to have white string here, but if you have yarn at home, that will work fine. You'll need some scissors, you'll need a drinking straw, and you'll need some white paper. So, here's what you'll need to do first. We wanna create a city on the paper plate. So I'm gonna use the newspaper as the surface for the buildings. Now this is kind of floppy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, and I have it right here, a piece of old paper, and I'm gonna take a glue stick, and I am going to just put glue across the surface of the paper. The newspaper, so I'm gonna find, I grabbed this piece because it's all black and white. I like that. So I'm just gonna stick this down and glue it. And I'm gonna cut it off. So you can see it's nice and firm. So when you do this, you might want to try to find a piece of, like I have here, some watercolor paper, which is thicker. But if you have like a notepad like this, sometimes on the back there's a piece of cardboard that you can use. So you have to look around and see what you have. But I think that looks good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just fold this in half like that, and I'm gonna cut out a design of boxes. And I want to show you something. You're going to be using both halves of this paper. So if you want, if it would help you, you can draw basically, and I think I'll do that. I jumped ahead here. I probably should have did that to show you, but a pencil, because you can see my marker. I don't like that. But when I open this up, do you see how it made the top of a city? And the other half works as well. So you can see that these link together, and now I have two halves of the city. So I'm gonna take my paper plate and I am going to glue that around like that. Do you see how I did that? There. So do you see how I have my city? And now this one, I think if I glue it behind it, it actually makes it even look taller. So I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue. Again, if you have tape, do I have tape? Yeah, I have this kind of tape. I can certainly tape it. Boys and girls, this is one of my favorite buildings in New York City. It's called the Flatiron Building. It was built in 1902, and the name Flatiron is because it looks like an old-fashioned cast iron clothes iron. It is a groundbreaking skyscraper. When it was finished in 1902, it was the tallest building in the city. The building sits on a triangular island block. So to make the Flatiron Building, you can see that it's actually the shape of a triangle. It's different from a lot of other buildings in the city. So I'm going to use another piece of paper. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to get this piece of paper into the shape of the Flatiron Building. So to do that, I'm going to roll it, and I can glue it with my hot glue gun. If you don't have a hot glue gun, guys, you can certainly use some Elmer's glue, or again, you can tape the back. You're not going to see the back. Okay. So I glued that, and now what I want to do is I want to bend it in the front, and I want to bend it on the sides, and you want to sculpt this into a triangle. You can take your scissors and use your eyeball, and you want to make 3 cut marks on the 3 folds, and fold those in. Let me move this out of your way here so you can see. Just fold it in and make sure it's even. Just fold it in. And I think we've done stuff like this in school before, I believe. But it gave it a nice surface. So I'm gonna just kind of glue that together. Sometimes you don't even need to do all this work. You can just sometimes smush it on with some glue and let it dry, right? All right, so I'm gonna glue that down. I want the point to be facing out. And I'm gonna take something long, like my paintbrush here, and just push that down. And I wanna show you what we're gonna do next, because I wanna make a character. It could be Spider-Man, it could be King Kong, it can be any kind of creature that or character that you design. But I want to make it look like he's climbing the corner of the Flatiron Building. So this is where we need the straw, the string, and I'll use tape for this. So what you want to do is you want to take your string. Now, if your Flatiron Building is really tall, your character is obviously going to have more to climb on. The center, so where you have the hoop. It's 2 even pieces with a hoop up here. You want to tape that part like that. And you want to put this inside the building, right on the corner. So you see how you have the strings coming down like that. All right. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And now what I need is just another piece of paper, and I think I'll make my character with this yellow piece, but you can obviously do it however you want. And I saw King Kong on Broadway a couple months ago. Actually, I think it was last summer. And it was one of the best shows I think I've ever seen. So I'm inspired by King Kong to make fun character that reminds me of him. So I'm going to make my character look like he's scaling the Flatiron Building. So just to show you, if you're not great at drawing, you can just make a cool shape like that. And another little trick is, if you want to go online, you can print out a picture of your favorite character. So there's my little monkey. I actually like him on that yellow paper. I think it kind of makes him look a little more lively, right? And he'll look great against the black and the white. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn him around and measure my straw to fit the back of my character, like that. Definitely work on the back. See how I glued it? And now what you have to do is you take your 2 strings and you put them through your straw. Just like this. Then you're done. So what I'm gonna do is just feed my strings through. Just like that. And I'm gonna separate them. King Kong at the bottom. And if I take my strings and I pull them, he will go and he will climb up the building. Isn't that pretty cool? And he climbs down. Oops, let me flip around. So I can have him over here. So if I'm doing Spider-Man, he can zoom up the building using his webbing. But I love King Kong. He's one of my favorite characters. And I think that looks fantastic. Isn't that pretty cool? So, by taking a paper plate, some newspaper, some cardboard, and a little imagination, you can make a really cool cityscape that has movement in it. So, give the project a try. If you master it, you can certainly click on another grade level link and see what they're doing as well. I'd love to see what you create, so you can email me at pricet@pearlriver.org. So boys and girls, I hope you had fun making our kinetic sculpture, and tune in next week where we will have more fun and exciting things to try in art online. Have a great week, boys and girls. I'll talk to you soon.